Many gardeners, even the most dedicated among us, face a persistent challenge: what to do with all the waste generated from our gardens. Whether it's pruned branches, fallen leaves, or the inevitable pile of spent plants at the end of a season, garden waste often becomes an afterthought. Instead of being seen as a valuable resource, it's treated as just another problem to be carted away. One of the biggest mistakes serious gardeners still make is treating kitchen scraps like trash instead of raw fertilizer. Peels, vegetable stems, fruit skins, and leftover greens get tossed into the garbage every day, even in homes where people are growing tomatoes, lettuce, herbs, and peppers just a few feet away. That waste ends up in landfills instead of feeding the soil. The result is gardeners spending money on bagged fertilizers while throwing away nutrients their gardens actually need. Traditional composting fixes this problem, but it also creates another one. A compost pile that is done properly can take months before it produces usable compost. In the meantime, kitchen scraps pile up, bins start to smell, flies appear, and honestly, many people simply give up. For gardeners who want results faster, especially those running raised beds or hydroponic systems where nutrient cycles really matter, waiting months for compost isn't always practical. So what if there was a way to make composting easier and, well, a lot quicker? That's exactly where technology steps in, offering solutions that fit right into our busy lives. With new innovations, gardeners and home cooks alike can now manage food waste more efficiently without all the hassle and unpleasant side effects of traditional composting. That's where the new generation of kitchen compost machines comes in. Instead of letting microbes slowly break scraps down outdoors, these machines accelerate the process using controlled heat, grinding, and drying. So, the result is a dry, crumbly material that can be added to soil or, if you like, further composted in just a matter of hours instead of months. The model that many gardeners are experimenting with right now is, well, a compact electric kitchen composter with about a 4-litre capacity. It sits conveniently on a countertop and processes food scraps using a combination of high-temperature drying and slow-grinding blades. The machine reduces the volume of food waste by roughly 90%, turning a full bucket of scraps into just a small amount of dry fertilizer material. It runs quietly, usually under 40 decibels, and uses a carbon filter to control odor so it can operate indoors without turning your kitchen into, a compost pile. When it comes to using these machines, there are a few best practices you'll want to keep in mind. First, always make sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions for loading and maintaining the unit. It's also a good idea to chop larger scraps into smaller pieces, as this helps the machine process them more efficiently. And, try to avoid adding things like bones, large pits, or excessive amounts of oily foods, since these can slow down the cycle or even damage the machine over time. Regular cleaning is important too, as it keeps everything running smoothly and prevents any unpleasant odors. By sticking to these simple guidelines, you'll get the best results and extend the life of your kitchen composter. Most cycles take about 4 to 6 hours, depending on the moisture levels in the scraps, and the container can typically handle the daily food waste of a small household. Now, before anyone assumes this replaces traditional composting entirely, it's important to understand what this machine actually produces. The material that comes out is not fully finished compost in the traditional sense. What it produces is a dried, partially broken down organic concentrate. Think of it more like a dehydrated pre-compost. The food scraps are crushed and dried, so microbes can break them down much faster once they enter soil or an outdoor compost pile. That difference matters because, well, applying the output correctly is what determines whether it helps your garden or creates problems. In raised beds, the best method is to treat this material as a soil amendment rather than a direct fertilizer. For every 10 parts garden soil, mixing in about 1 part of the processed material works well. In practical terms, that means roughly 1 cup of the dried compost product for every gallon of soil when refreshing raised beds. After mixing, water the bed deeply. soil microbes will begin breaking it down immediately, releasing nutrients over the following days and weeks. Now, for those interested in taking things a bit further, advanced use and ongoing maintenance are key. Regularly monitor the condition of your soil and, adjust the amount of compost material as needed each season. It's important to observe how your plants respond, making small changes to your routine if you notice any issues with growth or soil texture. Over time, this approach will help keep your raised beds healthy, productive, and honestly a pleasure to work with year after year. Gardeners who try to apply it too heavily often run into issues. A thick layer can attract animals or, create a temporary nitrogen imbalance as microbes finish the decomposition process. Used moderately, however, it becomes a steady nutrient input that keeps soil biology active. This is especially useful for gardeners who harvest constantly from the same beds. Leafy greens, herbs, and fast crops pull nutrients from soil faster than people realize. Lettuce beds harvested every 2 weeks can quickly lose organic matter if nothing is returned to the soil. Adding a small amount of processed kitchen compost every week or two helps replace that lost organic material without needing to haul wheelbarrows of traditional compost. The benefit becomes even more obvious when working with hydroponic systems. Hydroponics usually depends on bottled nutrient solutions, but many growers experiment with organic inputs to support beneficial microbes in media beds. So as we bring everything together, it's really about creating a sustainable cycle in your own home. By transforming kitchen scraps into a valuable resource, you're not only reducing waste, but also enriching your garden or hydroponic system. It's a simple step that, honestly, makes a significant difference in the bigger picture. The dried output from a kitchen composter can actually be used to brew a quick compost tea. Just 2 tablespoons of the material in 1 liter of water, aerated for, say, 12 to 24 hours, creates a mild microbial solution that you can apply to media beds or use as a biological supplement in hydroponic reservoirs. The key here is filtration. The tea must be strained thoroughly through cloth or a fine filter so solids don't clog pumps or drip lines. Used correctly, this can introduce trace minerals and microbial diversity without destabilizing nutrient balance. Another advantage that experienced gardeners really appreciate is waste reduction. A full kitchen scrap container might hold 2 or 3 kilograms of vegetable waste over several days, but after processing in the machine, that shrinks down to just a handful of dry material. Instead of dealing with rotting scraps, fruit flies, and leaky bins, the gardener is left with something clean, dry, and easy to store until it's needed in the garden. For people who garden in urban spaces or smaller homes, that convenience really changes the equation entirely. Many gardeners want to compost, but honestly just don't have the space for multiple outdoor piles or tumblers. A countertop composter allows them to convert waste immediately without managing a traditional compost system. That said, there are still materials that work better than others. Vegetable scraps, fruit peels, coffee grounds, cooked rice, and bread break down easily and produce consistent results. Tough, fibrous materials like corn husks, artichoke leaves, or large bones are more likely to tangle in grinding arms or remain partially intact after a cycle. Seeds from squash or melons may also survive the process, which means they should be buried deeper when applied to soil. Moisture content also affects performance. Extremely wet scraps can extend the cycle time because the machine must evaporate that water before grinding the material fully. Mixing wetter scraps with drier items like eggshells or stale bread helps balance the load and keeps the cycle closer to the typical 4-hour range. Cleaning the unit regularly also matters more than people expect. Residue buildup inside the bucket can create odors over time, especially if oils from cooked foods accumulate. Most machines include a self-cleaning mode, but honestly, a simple rinse with warm water every few cycles keeps things running smoothly and prevents the carbon filter from working harder than necessary. When used consistently, this system creates a small but constant stream of organic material for the garden. Instead of waiting months for a compost pile to finish, gardeners can feed their soil every few days. Raised beds stay biologically active, Container plants receive steady organic inputs, and hydroponic growers gain another tool for introducing natural microbial life. It doesn't replace good soil management, but it does solve a problem many gardeners struggle with: the gap between kitchen waste and usable garden nutrients. For gardeners serious about producing their own food, closing that loop really matters. Every scrap of vegetable waste represents nutrients that came out of soil somewhere. Returning those nutrients back to the garden quickly and efficiently helps build healthier soil over time, and healthier soil is still the foundation of productive gardens, whether you're growing in raised beds, containers, or hydroponic systems. If practical growing methods like this interest you, go ahead and subscribe to Hydro Haven, and share this video with another gardener who wants stronger soil and better harvests. The more people who understand how to turn everyday waste into real garden nutrition, the easier it becomes to grow better food right at home.